They've learned dancing, they've learned action, they've learned, voice modulation, language. I just came totally from school with no preparation. So what she is in her first film, I think I must have taken 6, 7, 8 films to reach that level of even the craft of acting.
Right.
Because she came so prepared. In fact, I used to, both Anmol and she, they will read the script again and again. I said, वही script बार-बार क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? Notes लिख रहे होते हैं उसके ऊपर.
I feel so lucky the way everything's come together. Just even giving the auditions and the way it happened during lockdown when things were so uncertain. We didn't know when we were going to start. Avnish was with the script since 2018.
Wow.
So imagine if they would have shot it then, I would have probably not been a part of the project. So the way it's all happened and my time where I've been the most ready, I feel like I wouldn't change it.
First of all, congratulations. You've just come out with your first movie. On a very personal level, if you would just want to say, how does it feel like now? The movie is out. Everybody's talking about it. Had a great screening, a great premiere. Everybody was there. So how do you feel now?
I think it feels great that people can finally see my work and all our work, Avnish's and Rajshri's as well. We've all been working on this project for 2 years now. So it's good that it's finally out there, my first project. And it's been so positive, touch wood. People have really responded well and accepted, me warmly. So it feels like a touch wood great start.
Right. Just before coming for the interview, I was actually going through your Instagram and Iman's Instagram. The fact that I see is there's so much love that I see in your chemistry. All I could see was that, you've made some cards for her birthday or daughter's day and all of that, right? So how does it feel to you now when you've seen her grow as a child? She's your daughter, she's become an actress now, she's out to the world. How do you feel?
When you talk about cards, I must share, which I've never talked about. Throughout her childhood, she used to make cards for me. It was like, later we came to know that she has a real good artistic side to her, she can paint, draw. But as a kid, it used to be, miss you mom, come back soon mom, if I was traveling. Happy
Literally,
birthday.
it would start with to dear mom, miss you, love you, and lots of love. But every card has that written on it.
So this card thing started now. In fact, when she doesn't do it, I miss it. I say, where are my cards? I still want them.
Now you get paintings.
Yeah, now this last birthday, she made a lovely painting for me. So I think this has been a form of communication, and we've always been a bit of a demonstrative family. I think we show a lot of love and affection. So it's, I think we like it that way.
Yeah. So how do you feel now? Her movie is out. As a mother, of course you're proud, but the first thing that you felt, when you watch her on the screen, on the big screen for the first time?
I always was very sure that she's going to be good because I had seen little bits of her, something she'd made for college and all that. And I was like, first time I saw it, I was pleasantly surprised, shocked that, my God, this girl is a good actor, very emotive face. And when I saw the film, a very rough version of it at the Rajshri office, I was so happy and relieved. I said, not one scene could I pick out and say, oh God, this scene mein thoda sa awkward thi ya gawky thi. Nowhere at all. So that was a real, reassuring, happy and a very, very positive thing for us. Both her father and me both felt, now we are relieved. We are not worried anymore. See, nobody can predict the fate of a film because at that time when we saw Rough Cut, we said, whatever the film does, this girl is good. That is important. As an actor, as an artist, as a performer, she's really is very, very, knows her craft. So we are happy and thrilled and proud of her.
Right. So, when you talk about all of this, when you saw her for, her glimpse of her acting and you would realize that she's an actor, she has that emotive face. I was just reading about you and I realized that out of 100 people, you were the one chosen for the film. You actually auditioned and you got that part, right? So that was a lot of hard work that you put in there. How did it feel like, how did you decide that you want to become an actress? Because just before starting the interview, like I was talking to you about, I wanted to fact check whether the thing that I read was right or not. You wanted to become a footballer. right? A professional footballer.
Yeah.
And then also I went to the social media when you talk about paintings. You had this Ask Me Anything session, I think, last day.
Like my
And for
first
some-
time of that
yeah.
AMA session. Yeah.
Yeah, and you there was something about painting. So tell us everything about it, because I'm sure people would want to know about Paloma, the actress who has just come into the industry and everybody is talking about her.
I do have a few hobbies and passions, and I think when I started playing football and handball when I was in the 4th standard, actually, because my brother started playing football and I got very influenced by that and introduced to football because of him. And we started playing at the house, and my school was actually very encouraging also when it came to sports. So one of my friends and I was the youngest one in my team for the longest time, and then eventually I created, like, me and my friend made our own football team together. I used to call all the girls in the morning at 5:30 for practice, because without having enough players you can't enter any competitions, your MSSAs and DSO, I think it's what I recall. So yeah, I was always into sports. I really enjoyed it. That was a very big part of my school, every day going for practice till like the 12th grade. I used to play sports. I used to play handball as well. I went to Indore for my nationals.
Wow.
And I remember mom still encouraged me to go, even though I had my board exams, my 10th grade board exams coming up. But I was so keen to go and represent Maharashtra. I carried my books with
she
me.
represented the state. For me,
Yeah.
that's a very big thing, and I think she got the best player also at.
That was a football. I got a at that time man of the match trophy.
Oh,
Because they didn't have
what is
women
this?
of the
Man of the
match.
match.
They
Man
had
of the match she got.
trophy for a football game. But and then painting was something that mom during COVID lockdown actually,
Yeah.
mom said, you know what, she would buy me paints, canvases, and really like tell me and encourage me
About
to
the
paint.
easel and the paints and the canvases and all. I said, listen, we all are going to go insane sitting at home.
Yeah.
And she really did some good work during that
So I
time.
painted on bags also. I painted on canvases, and it was like a
Wow.
very different.
In fact, I
relaxing-
encouraged, I told her even professionally you can do bag paintings, because a lot of people are
Yeah, absolutely.
painting branded bags also
Yeah.
and making them unique. And she did it. I bought her the paints which you need for that.
Yeah, you need
They're
this for
separate.
leather surfaces. You need a separate kind
I
of
mean,
paint.
it was a something which I thought about, and she did one bag for me which was gorgeous. I think you posted that.
Yeah,
in the
that's
Ask
probably
Me.
the one you saw, the tiger one.
She painted the
Right.
tiger, and I think she's so multi-talented, but
Yeah, I just
acting,
had that
yeah.
word in my mind, multi-talented. That, then you dance videos, then everything, like, and then of course you're into traveling, then you have a business for travel as well, right? So how do you manage that, and where do you see yourself as an actor?
So then acting, I think, came to me at a later stage. I acted only for the first time in college. Before that, I had never taken part in theatre or a skit. Even in school, we used to have annual days and
Correct.
stuff like that. But I never did any of that. It was just sports for me back in the day.
Do you remember the Jimbaru days you used to do there?
Maybe back in the day as a kid. But yeah, I don't think I took it seriously in my head, at least. I don't know if people saw that I had it in me or whatever, but personally I didn't take it in my head seriously. Then I enjoyed doing it so much when I was in college. Then I was like, okay, this is something that I want to explore more. And then I just started going for classes and trying different auditions and workshops, and then it became like a single goal that this is something that makes me happy and I want to do.
So one thing here I must add, she's extremely hardworking. Extremely. I mean, when she used to play football, she used to be out at 5:30 for a young kid to get up a small for exams, for studies. It wasn't that easy to make her get up at 5:30. But for sports, she would get up on her own. She'd come. They would play even on the beach, right? They would go there, and she'd come up with sand and mess and everything. She would. So that way she's very motivated. So when she had her, various classes, I never had to tell her. She would be on the dot by herself. So
yeah, and even dance, you were asking me, so you, like, I was never told, okay, no, don't go do that. If it's something that I was interested in, and if I was wanting to try out, I was always encouraged to go and do it. So that's honest credit to both my parents for always allowing me to explore my interests and passions. Yeah,
you're talking about class 10 boards, and you actually went for that. And both the things are huge for a student or a child at that point of time. But
and the thing is, she did
balancing
really
that.
well in her 10th board, because I was somewhere outdoor shooting also in between. Remember before that, and she used to get up by herself, drink mugs of coffee, and be studying. She really did, I think, way better than I expected in her 10th
Wow.
boards.
Wow. Well, that's huge, But, coming back to Dono, I don't want to just talk about the movie, but the stories that we can get to know about behind the making of all of it. The first thing that I could think of was a set that had fire on it,
Oh yeah, my
and we
God.
had to reset the whole setup and the whole process of it. So that moment must be a lot. But I saw the whole video that you put out and people talking about it. You could see the hard work that they've given, and of course, it's a Rajshri Production movie. It's your first movie, and you to give it 2 years. And in the middle of something, if something goes wrong, something might go wrong for sure. It's a part of the process. But going through that, the retakes might have happened and all of it. How did it go like?
It was really like shocking. I think we couldn't believe what was happening. It was the first day of our schedule also. We
Oh.
had 2 sets in that studio, and we hadn't even moved. We were shooting in one set for a few days and then moving on to the
Correct.
bigger
Yeah.
set after a few days. And there was a fire that started on a different
Another
film
set.
set. Yeah, and it just rapidly spread. We saw people evacuate, and we just left immediately, but we weren't able to
Scary.
go back to that set. That whole other set of ours burned down. Everything is so flammable there. It was just
It was
really
that Safa
unexpected.
thing, na, with a lot of cloth was
The
there.
Lagan ceremony was
Yeah.
one other set which had a lot of lights and all of that, and then the Safa set we were shooting on. We couldn't go back now because everything
caught
was
fire.
happening,
So
and-
devastating, actually. But I must here say that the Rajshri people took it so. It happens. Yeah, this is. We were all devastated.
Yeah,
they
but
were
Suraj sir
so
actually
stoic
mentioned-
about it. They were amazing.
Yeah.
They were.
They really were, and we took that time to really come back stronger and prepare even more. And we were just, when, like Avnish had said, when we came back on set, finally there was this sense of determination and coming out of that, and not letting anything like fall short.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, I think, no matter what happens, whatever happens, maybe in a way, bad note, but it happens for the good, and it came out much better and much more beautiful. And like you said, much more determination is what people came
Yeah.
forward with, right? But again, I want to know, because your Instagram DP is also that, the Safa. How was the process like? Making the Safa, learning to tie the Safa, all of it.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Can you do it now if I want a Safa tight?
Sure, I can try my best. But we practiced a lot, and it was a lot of fun also doing that. There were these long safas that we had
Yeah.
to tie, and there was a specific twist at the front, keep your hand over here, and it was a new experience. It was a lot of fun, yeah. And the colors on set, safas, and I loved that
Shadi
look also.
preparations and all of
it
that,
was a lot
right.
of fun.
Right. But ma'am, if I may ask you, she started with Rajshri, right? For you, who has had a huge history, known as one of those greatest actors we have in the industry, and I mean, I remember you as a child, even Noori is there, all of them, but I remember so many other movies that have come out with later in life as well, right? So all of that experience, all of that, and you're still trying to make sure you're still there and you're working and all of it. All I can think of when I see maybe an actor like you, maybe Amitabh Bachchan's birthday just went by, and if I see somebody like that, where does the energy come from? That energy, that enthusiasm, that hard work, and also maintaining the balance in your personal life to be around your children. I mean, when you talk about, like, I can still think of the 10th board experience, and how you made sure that she can manage both, and she actually did, and that was actually because of your support and motivation. So all of that together, like as an actor, as a mother, as a family person, all of it, how do you manage it?
Well, actually, it's something which I take in my stride, but I think it's what helps is having a very positive attitude.
Yeah.
If you let things bog you down, "Hey, aisa kya? Oh no, I can't do it. Oh God, I'm so stressed." The moment you say "I'm so stressed" word, I think that's one word we need to take out of our vocabulary. Telling ourselves, it's like psyching ourselves that I'm stressed. Oh my God, I can't do this. Oh God, this is overwhelming. So I basically have always had that attitude. I was lucky as born with it, and I wasn't born in the world which had so many external factors and so many external opinions every day on your face. So another thing was I didn't work for many years actually. I started working very young, and I think age 25, 26, I almost decided to stop working. And because of the kids, I didn't work for 7, 8 years. But after that, the kids told me all the time, Mom, we are busy, we are all the time out. They would go to school, then they both were sports people, they'd go to our classes. I would barely have any time, I'd be sitting waiting for them. I feel in our times today, it's so much more stressful for them than it was when we were working. We were single-minded, only working. Today there's promotion, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's interviews which are live. None of that was happening.
Yeah.
So I think they have much more on their plate than we did at our time. And I think it's more stressful, the word which I hate using. And by and large, for me, career has been the only thing I was doing. And for later, when the kids were there, they were the prime focus and the biggest joy of my life. So I enjoyed doing it. It wasn't as if, you're doing something you don't like. They were real cuties, both of them, Anmol and she. And I had a lot of fun bringing them up. We were more like friends. We used to do, I remember when her boards of the 12th were happening, at that time I decided, everybody in the house is studying. My son was studying, she was studying. I said, let me do my MBA at that time. I said, let me also study. So we'd all sit and study together.
Wow.
You remember that? So we used to all be studying together. So that's what. It's been nice to grow up with your kids in different ways.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think you have a third child as well, the dog. Tell us about that.
That's my grandchild. She has decided he's her baby. He's the cutest little baby.
His name is Peanut. Little Peanut. Yeah. Very sweet boy, actually. Very, very loving and cuddly.
Right.
In fact, when she was on an outdoor shoot, she specifically told me, Mom, I'm going to be on outdoor. Please make sure that you don't travel, you don't take any work, don't do anything during that time. You have to be home for him. So,
yeah, you were babysitting.
There was another dog, I think, Pepper.
Yeah.
Pepper was
Yeah,
our
when you were
first
young.
dog. Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. I was, I think, 6 or 7 when we got him, and a teen, like 18 when we had to put him to sleep because of old age and certain problems. But we did grow up together, so that was a very different relationship as well, and very, very special dog in all our hearts. Yeah.
Actually, we're lucky. We got 2 really cute dogs.
Good
Good
dogs.
souls, very good
Souls,
dogs.
yeah.
But coming back to acting and Anmol, if I may talk about it, if I may talk about him, he's also an actor, and he has in fact acted for television as well, right? So if I may ask this
OTT.
question, OTT,
Yeah.
yeah. So starting with that, he has started with acting. She's also started with acting, and they are at this point of time, like you mentioned, the times have changed, social media, OTT, like that. So when the discussion takes place between the three of you, maybe when you're discussing work, what is that advice that you always give them, that maybe you can choose something like this, maybe you can keep this in mind as an actor, and then you can move forward?
You want to say that? Because when I give them advice, they constantly remind me the world is different today, which it is. And it's not that I'm not abreast with the different world. I'm quite up to date with the world. But I realize that things have changed from the fact that I used to do 10 films at a time. Today they do 1 film at a time. And you have to be all out there. And we used to guard our privacy like anything. I remember so many magazines would say, can we take pictures of your house? You've done up your house beautifully. And I would say, no, I don't want cameras in my house. I don't want my house to be put up. Today, everything, other than when you're going to the toilet, is out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out. So today, people are voluntarily putting their whole life out.
Yeah.
Throughout their childhood, I remember no pictures of theirs were ever allowed to be taken, because I used to feel I want to guard them, I want to protect them. But today, everybody from the newborn onwards, they are out. So, world has changed. Attitudes have changed. So, it's evolution, I guess. We have to change. I always joke about it. If we didn't evolve, तो आज भी हम लोग घोड़ा गाड़ी में और lantern and candle के साथ जी रहे होते. We still we have evolved with all the amenities and the way the world has moved. So that is part of it.
Right. So if we swap this, and if I ask you, and if I ask you rather, that you think you learn from something from Anmol or Paloma as actors, or now that they are growing in the career, do you think there's something to learn from them? Because time is changing and they are coming up with different thoughts.
I would definitely say, if I knew I was going to join films, and if I had a second choice or what I've seen from their thing, they work so hard and they've come honing their craft. They've learned dancing, they've learned action, they've learned, voice modulation, language. I just came totally from school with no preparation. So what she is in her first film, I think I must have taken 6, 7, 8 films to reach that level of even the craft of acting.
Correct.
Because she came so prepared. In fact, I used to, both Anmol and she, they will read the script again and again. I said, वही script बार-बार क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? Notes लिख रहे होते हैं उसके ऊपर. She, I don't know how many times you must have read your script before the shoot.
I could say the lines in my sleep.
She knew the whole script from top to bottom. I think everybody's lines plus her own. And so was Anmol when he made Tuesdays and Fridays. So for him also it was a big launch, Bansali Films to launch him and she with Rajshri. So both of them have had big launches.
Yeah.
And both of them, I have to reiterate, have done it so totally on their own.
Yeah, and at least I can't really compare if that question is asked, because there was a different kind of cinema that you guys were in back in the day, and this is a different kind of cinema now. So there's beauty in both, and I appreciate so many of your films, and I'm in awe of Mom on screen. It's mesmerizing when you see, Mom on screen. At least I get very emotional.
Yeah.
So
she gets very possessive and emotional and protective, all of those things.
Right. But when it comes to that, I also read on your Instagram again, you want to do an action film. So in terms of that, any particular action film that you watched recently and you really liked and you were like, I wish I was there or a part of that movie?
I've loved all the Lara Crofts and the Atomic Blonde was such a, oh my god, I was like, oh, I wish I could do something like this. And of course your Pathans and your Jawans, and nowadays, so many actresses are doing so many amazing action roles. Anushka's done an NH10 so beautifully.
Yeah, Deepika is coming out with Singham.
Absolutely, I saw that look. In fact, this morning only I saw it, or yesterday. It was amazing. So it's I hope I get a chance to do something like that at some point.
Coming to an end of it, I would just quickly want to ask two things to you. First, if not Rajshri, if not Suraj Barjatya sir, could you imagine anybody? Okay, maybe I would have wanted to work with this particular director. If not him, I feel so lucky the way everything's come together. Just even giving the auditions and the way it happened during lockdown when things were so uncertain. We didn't know when we were going to start. Avnish was with the script since 2018. Wow.
So imagine if they would have shot it then, I would have probably not been a part of the project. So the way it's all happened at my time where I've been the most ready, I feel like I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. Yeah.
Wow. And if any actor or any star you would, I won't say male or female, just a person or an actor you would want to work with in the coming future?
So many.
But one name that you can hats off, I really want to.
I absolutely love Ranveer Singh's work, Ranbir Kapoor's work, Vicky Kaushal's work. I would love to work with Kartik Aaryan also. I'd love to work with so many people. Yeah, I'm just starting. So if I get a chance to work with all of them, it would be a dream come true.
And if if you have to say that for this particular actor, I think with the experience that you have and the way you would look at it, I would want you to work with this actor to learn more about cinema. So what would that be? Who would that be?
The actors she's named are all such amazing actors.
Absolutely.
She would learn from each of them, and strangely, she would physically fit in the roles with most of them because she has that personality which will go. She can look younger and older. In the beginning, in fact, a lot of people used to say, "Oh, she looks very young," but I feel she has that very, I would say, versatile personality. She can look older and younger. So I think she's going to rock it, and I wish she gets the best of opportunities. That is all that she needs. She's ready for it.
Yeah. Good luck for all your future endeavors to you also, ma'am. And
Thank you.
I hope you had a great time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.